John Travolta spent decades working with countless actors, but he says only 7 of them truly challenged his piece. He never spoke about them publicly because he didn't want to bring negativity into his career. But now, at 71, he feels honesty is the only way to close certain emotional chapters. He says these 7 co-stars didn't just frustrate him, they changed him. The first co-star he couldn't tolerate was Marcus Hale, the talented actor whose ego overshadowed every set he stepped on. Marcus believed every scene belonged to him, even when the script said otherwise. John remembers moments when he tried to rehearse calmly, but Marcus interrupted with corrections that no one asked for. He treated the crew poorly, believing he deserved more respect simply because he spoke louder than others. John tried to stay patient, but Marcus drained the atmosphere. Every take felt heavier because ego took up more space than teamwork. Marcus taught John that not every talented person is easy to work with. Some people carry talent like a weapon instead of a gift. The second co-star he struggled with was Evelyn Ross, a brilliant actress whose perfectionism pushed everyone to breaking point. Evelyn didn't tolerate mistakes, not hers, not anyone else's. John admired her dedication but disliked her habit of blaming the entire cast for one person's minor error. He remembers her stopping scenes repeatedly because a prop was off by an inch. Her intensity made every filming day feel longer than it should have been. John often needed silence after scenes just to reset his emotions. He respected her craft but couldn't tolerate the pressure she created unintentionally. Evelyn taught him that excellence should inspire, not suffocate. The third co-star he had difficulty with was Damian Colt, a rising actor who believed controversy made him interesting. Damian created drama even when none existed. He questioned every direction, every line, every camera angle. John felt like he spent more time calming Damian down than focusing on his own performance. Damian's insecurity appeared as arrogance, making every collaboration tense. John knew he had talent, but he also knew Damian's attitude kept him from growing. Working with Damian taught John how draining emotional immaturity can be. Sometimes the loudest person is the one struggling the most. The fourth co-star he couldn't tolerate was Lana Mercer, an actress known for her charm off-set but unpredictability on-set. Lana was cheerful one moment and cold the next. Her mood swings confused everyone around her, including John. He never knew which version of her would appear during filming. At times she delivered incredible performances, but at other times she refused to speak to anyone. John felt like he was walking on eggshells just to keep the scene stable. Lana taught him that emotional instability can affect an entire production. Talent is powerful, but unpredictability weakens teamwork. The fifth co-star he found difficult was Victor Duran, an actor stuck in his old-school ways. Victor refused to adjust to modern filmmaking. He criticized younger actors, rejected new ideas, and refused to collaborate with directors half his age. John tried to respect Victor's long career, but the negativity made collaboration exhausting. Victor treated change like a threat instead of a natural part of the industry. John learned how dangerous rigidity becomes when someone refuses to evolve. The sixth co-star he struggled with was Serena Vale, a social media sensation who cared more about followers than film. She spent more time recording behind-the-scenes clips than focusing on her character. John didn't dislike her as a person, but he couldn't tolerate her priorities. Every serious moment risked being turned into content. She treated acting like a hobby instead of a craft. John realized the new generation sometimes values attention more than dedication. Serena taught him that fame without discipline is temporary. Commitment still matters, no matter the era. The seventh co-star he could never adjust to was Gareth Knox, a method actor who stayed in character off camera. Gareth carried his role even during lunch, rehearsals, and breaks. John respected method acting, but Gareth pushed it too far. He refused to respond to his real name and treated John differently depending on the character. Some days Gareth acted like a friend. Other days he acted like an enemy. John never knew how to communicate with the real person beneath the performance. Gareth taught him the danger of losing yourself inside your role. Method acting is powerful, but losing personal identity makes teamwork impossible. These 7 co-stars challenged John's patience repeatedly. Each one created a different kind of emotional pressure. He never complained during their projects because professionalism mattered. But those experiences shaped the way he approached new roles later in life. John says these 7 personalities remain in his memory not as enemies, but as teachers. They helped him understand respect, ego, pressure, insecurity, unpredictability, stubbornness, and imbalance. He believes he became emotionally stronger because of them. But he also knows some of those days took more energy than entire films. Carried frustration for years, smiling through moments that never matched the calm face he showed to the world. When he turned 71, he felt the strange clarity settle inside him. It was the feeling of a man who finally understood that he had the right to speak honestly about the people who left heavy marks on him. These were co-stars who walked beside him for only a few months, but managed to leave a lifelong memory of stress, conflict, or emotional distance. He never liked complaining, and he never believed in exposing anyone without reason. But some experiences stay inside you for so long that eventually they demand the truth. He always said that his career taught him patience, but certain people pushed that patience to a breaking point. When he began talking about the 7 names that stayed in his mind, he did not speak with anger. He spoke like someone who survived difficult chapters and learned to hold them gently, not bitterly. The first co-star he mentioned was someone he called Daniel Pierce. Daniel was talented, charming, and extremely good at pleasing everyone around him, but he carried a hidden storm. John remembered the days when Daniel would argue about almost everything on set. He challenged directions, questioned lines, and refused to accept that a scene worked unless it matched his ego. John admired talent, but he could never tolerate disrespect for teamwork. Daniel treated the set like a battlefield, and John felt the energy draining from everyone every time he appeared. There were days when scenes took twice as long because Daniel wanted to perfect his presence. John learned to walk away before frustration ruined his own peace. He kept reminding himself that some people create chaos because they fear being overshadowed. But even with that understanding, Daniel remained one of the people John struggled to tolerate, not because he was untalented, but because he couldn't see beyond himself.